you've been so good.
Hey, what's up? Welcome, world. This is Jonathan Hodges, and this is the Gift of Conversation Podcast 2.0. And I'm so excited to be with you tonight. Starting a little early tonight because my church is having prayer. And so I want to definitely be a part of that as our pastor of worship and as one of the leaders of the church. I just want to be in place. But I want to say good evening to everybody. We're going to be on here just for a short time, but I have a very, very interesting guest with an amazing story. And I want to talk to you today about how to advance and maximize on the extra 24 hours that God has given us in the year 2024. So 24 in 24. This guest that I have today is one of my best friends. She's an inspiration to me and to so many other people. She's a mentor. She's a scholar. She is a prolific teacher. She is the owner and operator of Coil Culture. And so without further ado, because I want to get into this conversation, please welcome to the stage my best friend and one of our greatest guests here. She's been here before. You know her, Miss Lakisha Gilbert.
Hey,
Lakisha.
I'm doing good. How are you?
So good. It's so good to be here. You know, I'm always excited to have a conversation with you because we just flow. We just do our thing. So I'm just so excited to have you here today. Of course, I'm sweating, so I'm getting ready to pat a little bit. And we're going to get right into the conversation today. Thank you also to our sponsors tonight who have sponsored this podcast. Also, shout out to TMG Studios. We thought we were going to be able to be in the studio tonight, but then, of course, everything happened with Facebook and social media today, and we weren't sure if we were going to be able to do it. So I didn't want to waste anybody's time. So I said, let's go StreamYard. That way we can be home and be comfortable. So tonight we're going to talk about going from Bojangles to boss. And that's because that's how I know my friend Lakisha Gilbert. So many different angles, so many different facets. You are multi-hyphenate. You are ///. You're that person that you're a mom, you're a counselor, you're a psychiatrist sometimes, you're a hairstylist, you're a cosmetologist. How do you do all of that and still get up here and be so vivacious? How do you do that? What's the secret sauce?
I don't know. as you're going down the list, I'm like, okay, yes, I do that, or counselor, really, so
Uh-huh.
just how to do it all. I really don't know. I just take it day by day, and try to balance it all, with grace, with God's grace. So I don't know.
Absolutely.
I don't know how I do it. Answer your question.
Oh
So
wow. You do it and you do it well. I have watched you over the years and just have seen how much you've bloomed in and blossomed into the woman that you are today. Who would you say inspired you
who
the
inspired me?
most? I'm sure it's a bunch of people, but the most. Who has inspired you the most?
I mean, right off the bat, the first person that comes to mind is my mom. You know, um, just raising us. I have a brother and a sister. We lost my brother a few years ago, but an older brother and a
Mm,
sister, and we grew up together. My mom, single parent, and so to watch her, and of course I didn't realize this until I was older, as an adult,
yes.
to work and to keep a roof over your children's heads and feed them. So when I had children of my own is when I began to see, like, oh, this is what she was doing. And
Hmm.
your children, so then next would be my children, that keeps me driven. It's got to be
Yes.
done. It has to happen. I got to make it. I got to win. You know what I'm saying? So,
Absolutely.
but yeah, and then over the course of some years, just people that I've met and come in contact with and work with. Of course, I think my life as an experience has inspired me to push forward.
Mm, hmm. Hmm. So with all that you do, with all that you juggle, what do you like? So we talk about Wednesdays sometimes. So like Wednesday is a day where there's nothing too drastic happening. There's nothing too boring happening. I mean, it's a boring day, really. There's nothing. There's no deadlines. If you had a Wednesday, if you had a day where it was all about you, you didn't have to be mommy, you didn't have to be cosmetologist, you didn't have to be entrepreneur, you didn't have to be any of those things that you normally are. What would your Wednesday look like? When you wake up in the morning, where are you? And what, like, if it's the perfect day, what is it for you?
I am. I'm a water girl, so I'm just a little country girl from Apex who loves the beach.
Yes.
Or loves the
Okay.
beach, or loves outside, so
Hmm.
I would be outside. It brings my mind to, I can just, see myself outside in the grass, bare feet, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And just enjoying the weather,
Hmm.
um, springtime, a little bit closer to summer though, because
That's
springtime gets
good.
cold, but
You can't. You can't. And pollinate it. Yeah.
but if I'm not all of those things that you listed, that's me. A little
Hmm.
little girl, like to be outside, like to be connected with nature, just to hear nature's song. You know what I'm saying? And be
Mm.
be
Yes.
quiet and be still and relax. I
Absolutely.
would love one of those days right now. What you call it, a Wednesday?
Yeah. Wednesday. Just a Wednesday. Yep. Absolutely. I love it. I love it. What would you eat? Like what would you do as far as eating that day on that Wednesday?
What would I eat? Oh man, you caught me off guard with these questions. These are good
I'm so
questions because
sorry.
I'm so ready to be like a job and step one and ABC or one, two,
Uh-huh.
three.
Uh,
But but what would I eat? Um, I know I would eat veggies, fruits, and I know that sounds cliche, but I love those things. You know what I'm
makes
saying? I
sense.
love I love vegetables and good fruit, sweet fruit,
Yeah.
like a good old cantaloupe. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? A good sweet one.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, I
But
love
yeah.
it. I love it.
Mhm.
So let's get into this 24 and 24. You and I were on the phone. We were having a conversation as we normally do in the mornings. I'm working and you're on your way out the door, getting the baby ready and going on, and getting to your clients. This 24 and 24, like, what does that mean to you? How does that resonate with you? Because I mean, it just came out of nowhere, as most things do in our conversations. It
Yes.
just pop out of the blue and you start preaching. So ain't got not the first license to preach, but you be preaching. So tell me, what does that mean to you? How did that resonate with you?
First of all, you need to tell the people that was really your fault. You came up with it, extra 24 hours in this year, and that's when I say
Hmm.
24 and 24.
Yeah.
And what does that mean? How does that resonate um, with me? I gave that some thought after I said, how something come out your mouth and you like, "Ooh, what did I just say? What does it
Hmm.
mean?"
Yeah. Yeah.
And what what comes to mind is that if you talking to myself, Keisha, if you're not careful, even though there's an extra 24 hours and 24, if you don't stay, focused and conscious of it, you'll let it drift away from you like the rest of the day. So what are you going
Hmm.
to do? Make every day
Absolutely.
count, and you happen to have an extra day this year to do so. So
Hmm.
what it means to me is like a bonus. You know what I'm saying? It's like what you were going to get anyway, but just a little extra. So just to still continue to be focused and push forward. So
I hear that. I hear that. So when we come back, I'm going to share some of our sponsors for this week. We have two sponsors for this week. Thank you all for all of our sponsorships and for supporting the podcast as much as you do. But when we come back, we're going to definitely talk about how you went from Bojangles to me and the boss. I think that's going to be the story that just really inspires everybody. So you guys sit tight with us. But while we're showing these sponsorships, make sure you comment in the chat. Make sure you tag somebody and share this live and let them know that the Gift of Conversation podcast 2.0 is on the air. An organization working to provide quality advisory services for their clients. They work with startup and growing companies from a variety of industries, ranging from technology to healthcare, providing innovative and effective solutions. Contact them today. Let's Assemble It specializes in fast and responsive furniture assembly. Do you need professional workmanship, reasonable prices, and satisfaction guaranteed? Avoid the headache and schedule a local experienced specialist today. If you purchase it, let's assemble it. Everybody's telling me to find a career, and I'll be rolling my eyes, thinking I'll be alright with my. All right, we are back. Thank you so much to our sponsors, Let's Assemble It, and also LJL Productions. Thank you so much. We have so many sponsorships, and we are getting ready to make sure that everybody gets their playtime, there in your airtime. There has been so much that has happened in the last 2 weeks with me being sick and that type of thing. So I really appreciate all of our sponsors for being patient with me, and also allow me to kind of figure out StreamYard so I can get it up. I finally got it up. So thank you so much to all of our sponsors. We really appreciate you. If you'd like to be a sponsor, please know that you can just email me, DM me, whatever, however you're seeing this, just reach out to me and we can make it happen to get your business the attention that it needs. All right, Miss Keisha, we back to you. We got a lot of people in here that are here to see you. We got some celebrities in the chat. We got Miss Renee Williams, Mark Somerville Jr. is here. And she says, hey, and so I like to call all of my people celebrities because, everybody's a celebrity. I can't do this without, the people that support. So thank you so much. All right, so Keisha, let's get right into it. So you started out at Bojangles. So you have this big corporation now, on your way to opening another spot, that's much larger than where you are now. Um, you have mentees that are under you. You have business coaching that you do. So all of this came about and put you in a great place, um, but it all started at Bojangles. Or I won't say it all started at Bojangles, but that's the story that I heard. Can you give us a little background about that?
Yeah, so it ended at Bojangles.
It ended at Bojangles. I like the framing. Go ahead.
Yeah, so prior to being a hairstylist, I was in food service management for a while. So I've been in several different restaurants managing, and Bojangles was the last restaurant that I worked at, and actually job where I clocked in somewhere. That's the last one
Mm,
that I worked. So it ended with Bojangles. Um,
okay.
I was a hairstyle. I was a hairstylist at the time of working at Bojangles, and it just and I wasn't even in management at Bojangles. I was actually the one, listen, Bojangles is something kind of different
I believe
in
it.
the back.
I believe it. Mm-hmm. I
Making those
believe it.
sandwiches, not actually making the biscuits, but when y'all order a sausage biscuit, somebody got to cut that open and put that sausage in there
Mm-hmm.
and keep it going.
Keep it moving.
And so, but just working at Bojangles, and I was also a hairstylist, but at that time, I don't know, maybe about 6 years in, and I've been a cosmetologist now for about 16 years.
Okay.
And so at that time, I was probably about 5 or 6 years in, as far as my career, but I still had to work part time because it wasn't supporting me just yet.
Mm.
And so it came to me, not all of a sudden, it kind of, you know how something just kind of slow roll on you.
Mm-hmm.
It came to me that as long as I was dipping into part-time jobs, and Bojangles was part-time, then I
Mm-hmm.
couldn't work on my craft. I couldn't work on becoming a great hairstylist. It takes experience. It takes skill, honing in on your skills, and that takes time. And so as
Mm-hmm.
long as I was part time and I wasn't putting in time um, to my craft, and so I decided to go for it.
Mm.
I decided to go for it. So
Just
I
that
actually
leap of
gave both.
faith.
What was that?
I said just that leap of faith. Like what kind of courage did you have to do that? And can you speak to somebody who feels like there's more and they want to do more, but they're just afraid to take that leap?
Mhm. First, let's talk about real quick what courage is, because sometimes people
Yes.
think that that is heroic, like courageous, and I guess in
Mm-hmm.
a sense it can be. But what the real definition of it is that you actually take action despite fear. Not
Mm.
that it's not there, you do it anyway. So anybody that's afraid, that's afraid to take the leap of faith or to go for it, to be courageous means you move anyway. You
Mm.
take
Okay.
action even in the sight of fear. So
Oh
I
wow.
did it. I was 5 years in. You know what I'm saying? So I had to have a real conversation with myself at 5 years in as a hairstylist. I had to have a real conversation with myself. What am I doing? If a hairstylist is what I want to be, and I know I didn't want to be at Bojangles for 10 years, and I knew I wasn't going into management because I had already worked food service management. So that wasn't the career path either. So I had to make a decision within myself. What are you doing? Where is this going? What do you want? Sometimes we don't ask ourselves that. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking to, myself at the time. What do you want?
Mm-hmm.
How do you want to achieve this? And then, and you know this about me, I'm very analytical, I'm strategic, so I'm
Yes.
saying what I want,
And
and then
thorough. Let's not forget thorough. Sipping my tea.
I'm saying what I want, and then I'm like, okay, let's do it then. Step one,
Mm-hmm.
quit Bojangles.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Uh, that's
Mhm.
got to be like monumental for you. What did you gain whenever you left Bojangles and took this leap of faith? What did you gain?
Liberation.
Liberation. Wow.
I was
Did that
scared,
open
but I
up?
was free.
Oh, I know that feeling. I know that feeling. It's like good grief, you know? It's just like, man,
Let me.
oh, scared to death but free. We
Ooh.
say it all the time because somebody wise once told me, speak your truth even if you shake while you're doing it. You know what I'm saying? And I've also heard there was a sweet old lady at South Johnson High School where I was working as a custodian one time. And I was on my break, and I remember sitting there just kind of reading a literature book. And she came in and she was just so astonished by me being, I don't know if it was because I was a black man reading the book or just a janitor reading the book, but she was just like, "Oh my god!" And so she ended up giving me one of her books, one of her. Uh, it's like a memoir of Aristotle quotes and that type thing, and she signed it. And she gave it to me, and she was like, "If you need anything, just let me know." And I was like, "I appreciate it." And I went to her classroom because she left it in the break room where I was, and I went to the classroom, and I wanted to thank her personally for this book. And she was like, "Yeah." She was like, "Listen, don't be afraid to do anything." She said, "You can do anything. Don't be afraid." She said, "If you want to stay a janitor, stay a janitor." She said, "But if you want to be an English major, if you want to go out and be an astronaut, do it." She said, "Don't let fear get in your way." She said, "Because fear is only," she said, "just be courageous." She said, "And courage is only fear that has said its prayers." And I thought that was so profound, that courage, courage, because we talk about being courageous, we talk about, letting go of the fear and that type thing, but courage is only fear that has said its prayers, and believing that that God is gonna like definitely put you where you need to be, even if you are afraid, even if you make the wrong turn. I believe that God is like a GPS to where He will reroute you, recalculate you, and basically put you back where you were and get you to your destination. Um, Maybe the same time that you thought you were going to be there before you took the wrong turn or the left turn or whatever. So, but I want to talk a little bit about your brother. You said you had a brother that passed away. Um, Tell me how that affected you as a person, and where you were in that time of your life.
I don't think I've ever talked about him to anyone.
Hmm. Are you okay to do that tonight, or do we need to
I
wait a
believe
while?
I am. You just, you know.
Okay, take your time. Take your time. Say as much as or as little as you need to.
No, I think I think it's important. This could be very healing for me. I just never had anyone really ask about mainly because my circle or the journey I've taken in life away from home, no one knows him. No one really knows that I even had a brother.
Mm, hmm hmm
But your question is, where did it take? Ask me again. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So, like, what did it do for you? Where did it take you? And what did it do for the time of life that you were in right then? So, I don't know if you were at Bojangles or gone from Bojangles at this time, but where were you when
I
this
was
occurred?
gone. I was gone from Bojangles. I
You
was.
were.
This has been. He may have been gone about 6 years now, and
Mm,
my daughter is 8 years old. So she was little. She was very
mm,
little. Um, and he passed away right before his birthday, which was in April. And my daughter's birthday is in April as well.
yes, it
But my
is.
youngest one, my youngest daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And so, what did it do to me? Of course, it was heartbreaking.
Mm-hmm.
My brother died of cancer, and it was quick. Like, I should say, it was quick once the diagnosis came. I'll say it like that.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause, um, so yeah, and so it was heartbreaking. I was numb for a minute. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
I hear everything that's happening. I know what's happening, but it's like, what? You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'll be transparent with you. My brother and I, we bumped heads all the time.
Really.
We
Wow.
did. hmm
Wow.
We bumped heads all the time. It was always something against between us. You know what I'm saying? It's a and what I believe it was, and he was 10 years older than me.
Really.
So
Wow.
and so my mother had three kids. Him being the first, myself in the middle, and then we have a sister. I have a sister that's right behind me, so she's like 1 year and some change. I don't know. You birthdays start rolling around. You're like, I don't know
Uh
how old
huh.
anybody
Yeah.
is, but
Exactly.
But so yeah, so her and I grew up playing together, if you would, but my brother was the one that would watch us, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always been this direct, kind of mouthy. The type of person that I am as an adult gets their butt whooped as children.
Oh yeah. Uh-huh. I know those kind. I wasn't that,
Because
but I know y'all.
like, yeah, it's like, don't ask me why. And I'm like, why can't I ask why? You know what I'm saying? And like,
Mm-hmm.
for, lip busted. But my brother and I, my brother and I always bump heads even up until adulthood. And I didn't, even when he passed, I'm back. You with me?
Yes, I got you.
Hello?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Jeez Louise.
I can hear you.
You can hear me?
Yes, so just keep going. I can hear you.
Okay, I can't hear you,
All right, we'll work it out. Let me
but
put you backstage. Hold on one second. All right, I'm sipping out of here. See, this is where it's about to get deep right here. I hope y'all ready. Take a deep breath, everybody.
I can't.
Can you still hear me?
No.
You can't hear me. Oh my goodness.
Well, let me
All
see.
right, well,
Hold on.
go out and come back in all together. Can you use the link that I gave
Leave
you
and come
again?
back.
Yeah, leave all the way and come back. It'll let me know when you're back in here. All right, y'all. Doing what is this about to get good? That's how I know it's about to get good. And your boy hot. Let me take a couple minutes to and I got somebody calling me. If you're not on this podcast, you're not really my real friend. But no, so we're getting ready to show our sponsors again for this evening. Thank you to all of our sponsors. Thank you to everybody who definitely have poured into this so much. Thank you so much. So I'm going to play our sponsors one more time, and then we're going to get right back to the conversation with Miss Lakisha Gilbert. Thanks, guys. Hold on. LJL is an organization working to provide quality advisory services for their clients. They work with startup and growing companies from a variety of industries, ranging from technology to healthcare, providing innovative and effective solutions. Contact them today. Let's Assemble It specializes in fast and responsive furniture assembly. Do you need professional workmanship, reasonable prices, and satisfaction guarantee? Avoid the headache and schedule a local experienced specialist today. If you purchase it, let's assemble it. Everybody's telling me to find a career, and I'll be rolling my eyes, thinking I'll be alright with my. All right, y'all, we're back. This is the Gift of Conversation Podcast 2.0, and I want you to tag somebody, share this live, and let somebody know that we are definitely here. We're on the air. We're having an amazing conversation with Miss Lakisha Gilbert. I think she's here. All right, yeah, she's here. So let's bring her back on stage. All right, Lakisha, can you hear me? Oh, but I can't hear you. Hold on.
What
Unmute
about
mic.
now?
Now, there you are.
All
Woo!
right, I did it.
Got it together. Okay, good. All right, so I want to call out a couple people who are in the chat. Excuse me. Got that lingering cough still from that crud. Um, Kay Johnson is here. Elder Betty Rue Johnson is here. Veronica Johnson is here. The Johnsons are here today. Uh, Also, Ivory Sneed, thank you so much. My cousin Irika Smith Bryan is here. Miss Angela P. Jones is here. Crystal Sanders, thank you for being with us. Brandon Williams, you know I love you. Thank you so much for being here with us today. Willie Grant, Vida Lee, Don Donisha. I want to say that's her name. Please tell me that's your name. Ask you. Also, and I'm trying not to bring y'all up here, saying Nicholas Brown is here today with us. So thank you to all of our superstars who are here, all of our celebrity fans and friends and family and just people who are here. We couldn't do this without you. We would be having a conversation by ourselves. So thank you so much for being here. And also thank you to our viewers. Listen, if you out there, if you feel like you have anybody who you know that has a story that the world needs to hear, hit us up. Let me know. I will definitely bring them on because that's what we're trying to do. We have hard conversations that will promote healthy living, healthier futures, and sometimes we just have to have those conversations in order to get through. So whether it's life insurance or whether it's from Bojangles to being a boss, we want to hear your story because we definitely want to inspire somebody else or help somebody detour where you might have crashed. All right, so Lakisha, when we got ready to get off here, we were talking about, what your brother's death did for you. Can I ask you a question? Like, what can you say that you lost the day he died?
I'm going to continue with my brother, but let me tell you what happened. Why the
Okay,
technical issues happen. I have an
okay.
alarm that goes off at 7:30 every day. It's my gratitude alarm, and at
Oh, I
that
have
point.
that too.
And so it went off and knocked everything off. But since
Mm-hmm.
it did that, let me tell you that I am grateful to be here tonight to actually have this conversation with you to talk about some things that I probably normally wouldn't talk about. So I'm really grateful for this evening.
Oh, wow. I'm
Mhm.
glad. Thank you so much for being here with us and for, being vulnerable enough to share your experience. I really feel like it's going to help somebody because it helped me. So, all right.
But yes, to answer your question, what did I lose when he passed away?
Mm-hmm.
I lost him, and I lost the opportunity to for us to grow to something else. Do you know what I mean? For us to finally be okay. For us to, and not to say that we were fighting like cats and dogs, but it was just more like you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and we never got beyond that. I realized how much I did love him once he was gone. You know, you could have asked me then, and I probably facetiously would have said, "I ain't nobody care about him." You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But once he was gone, I really realized that. And to be transparent, so there was three of us, and me being in the middle. But and some people don't like this, but just to understand the dynamics of it, I am the half sister, right? So I have a different
Okay.
father.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but and sometimes I remember growing up and thinking that that's the reason why he didn't like me. That's me saying he never told me that. Just in me, I
Mm.
felt like he didn't like me. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? But I remember also saying why I was hurt because even though I was the black sheep, you know, I was the one that was different, if you would. But I
Mm-hmm.
resolved in myself the older I got and almost kind of standing up to him, so to speak. Like I said, this is not where we weren't fighting like cats and dogs. It was just that unspoken. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I resolved to, I felt like he didn't like me because I was, half sister, but I was in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm the first sister he's ever had. And
Oh,
so,
wow.
and that is position, baby. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. That's position. You holding it all together now. Yes.
That
Yes.
is
Yes.
position. So, but yeah, what I lost is I lost my brother and I lost a family member, and it still hurts. Even if you're at odds, he didn't do anything to wreck my life or anything like that. It was siblings and the two older siblings, right? My mother's oldest daughter, and he was her oldest child, son. And so we were always, that sibling kind of fight back and forth. And
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize how much I would miss him until, he was gone and it couldn't be reconciled, at least face to face.
Mm.
Um, he has a
That's very
son,
good.
and we didn't see his son as much, you know what I'm saying? And so I saw my nephew, during right before his funeral, when the family is gathering. And that
Yes.
boy came through the door looking exactly like my brother, and I
Mm.
lost it. I could not breathe. Tears came from everywhere. I had never felt that feeling before in my life. Um,
Wow.
but just to see him see my brother in him,
Mm-hmm.
but
Mm-hmm. Wow. So you said you lost your brother, of course, but then you lost the opportunity of what could have been. So had he lived, what do you think? Where do you think you guys would be as far as relationship now? Now that you know everything that you know and whatever you said, and you also said, So where I want twofold. Where would you be now? And also, you were talking about how you didn't think he liked you because that you were the half sister. Um, those that speaks to how what we tell ourselves sometimes about life and where we are. So I want to know, where would you guys be now had he survived, and also what are you telling yourself now?
Where would we be? I think what we would be, to be honest with you,
Mhm.
and it's unfortunate, I think we would probably be in the same place, just older.
That's honest. Yeah, yeah.
My brother was going through a lot. He was brokenhearted, and life had beat him down. Let me say it like.
Mm,
And
yeah.
so he always talked negative about his life. And so me being as driven as I am, I can't hear that for like years. So we would
Hmm.
probably be in the same place. And what was your second part of that question?
Also, I was saying that it speaks to when you were saying that you didn't think he liked you. It speaks to the stories we tell ourselves about ourselves. So, what are you telling yourself about yourself now?
What am I telling myself about myself
Hmm.
as it relates to him, or just generally speaking?
Just in general, yeah. What are you saying to yourself? Are you in affirmations? Are you just like in prayer meditation? Are you just like talking to yourself? What are you doing?
Jonathan, I am, when I talk to myself, it's all emotion. So I think it's also important to be transparent about being human. While
Mm.
yes, I do speak affirmations, but sometimes, I'll be like, girl, what in the beep a beep is going on here with you? You know what I'm saying?
Same, same, right here. Yes, ma'am.
So it's not always, I do talk to myself in my head, and it could be a pep talk, or it could be let me tell you, it'd be like, come here, let me tell you something. Let me tell
Uh-huh.
you something. You
Right.
better get it
Get
together. You
over
better get
here.
it together now.
You better wrap this up by 5 o'clock.
So,
Oh gosh.
so, but what I am saying to myself that is consistent, if you would, be it affirmations or you better wrap this up type of conversation,
Mm-hmm.
is that I am me and I am powerful and I know it.
Mm-hmm.
I know when I move and when I act, things happen. It doesn't always happen the way that I want it to, and it definitely don't happen the way I think it should go all the time.
Mm,
But it does move. It does happen because I set intention and I go. I'm almost dogmatic about it, and so either I'm telling myself, wrap this up because you got to get going. You know what I'm saying? You
mm-hmm.
can't. One thing I say to myself, oh, I'm letting y'all into some deep places, but one thing I keep saying to myself is, you can't die here. And what
Mm,
that means is, even in the midst of my despair or what seems like hopelessness in my situation, I can't die here. I can't. It's almost like, get up and keep walking, get up and go
mm-hmm.
further, because I
Mm-hmm.
can't die in my despair. And it's not just a physical death. I'm talking about spiritually. I'm talking about
Mm-hmm.
emotionally. I can't lay down and die here in the midst of my um, uh, uncertainty or fear.
Yes. Yes. Wow. That's powerful. And then you just abruptly stop. And I'm just left not breathing. Because this is so good, Keisha, for you to have like made it this far, still be here to tell the story, and have gained so much wisdom. You said that, you're saying to yourself, now I am powerful. When did you know? Like, what was the moment that was the defining moment for you to know, listen, I can't die here. I'm powerful. I can get up from here and I can keep moving.
The I can't die here is what I've always said.
Okay.
I was a young mother. I was a teenage mother, so I started having children. So I was a mother very early in my life, and seen struggle, and always had a mouth to feed, and always
Mm,
had someone to take care of, and always had responsibility, so to speak. And so through I had to grow up and struggle, like through my life with a child in tow. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And so
Yeah.
that I can't die here has been present for a long time. I was married at one point in time. I'm divorced now, but even in that was a lot for me. Going through the separation and then a divorce, that that took me for a loop. And so even in that, I can't die here, so that I can't die here has been present for a long time. When I realized I was powerful, I can't tell you when. I can't tell you when. I can't mark a day.
Mm,
Um,
mm,
I think I came into a realization by hindsight, right? So ever since I can remember, you can ask any of my family members. Let me tell you two things they're gonna tell you about me. I always have a job and I have a car.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
So I'm
always
not gonna have
important.
nothing else.
Uh-huh.
And
Go
so
have that car, go have that somewhere to stay.
I'm going to have a job and I'm going to have a car, and yes, somewhere to stay, because I always had kids. But I didn't realize I was powerful until hindsight, looking back. Everything that I said that I wanted, I got.
Mm,
Everything that I said, everything that I put my mind to, I have achieved. There's one thing when I said it out loud that I hear a voice in my head saying, "Well, that's one thing you didn't," but I'm working on it.
right, right. Yeah. That's normal. That's
And
normal.
so, and so to do that, you have to be powerful, because life will distract you. Life will beat you down. Life will pick at you. This is
Mm-hmm.
also a spiritual thing. You know what I'm saying? It's not just
Yes.
the enemy that's talking to you or talking you down. You do that to yourself. Sometimes you just
Mm-hmm.
talk so down to yourself. And so to make it through being a teenage mom, to I didn't graduate high school. I got a GED, but going back to get that, there's some people that didn't get that. You know what I'm
Very
saying?
true.
To
Mm-hmm.
get in a trade, to pursuing something, a career or a trade where I can take care of my children. That takes motivation, and that takes drive and tenacity. Um, and that doesn't come easy. You have to fight for that. And if you think about a
Yes.
fight, when you're in a fight, like you think about it in the ring, you better have some power behind you, or you ain't gonna knock
Mm-hmm.
anything down. You're not getting
Right. That's true. That's very true. Keisha, what I realized is that a lot of people, and they used to tell us this back in the day, that if you a person and you come to a fight and you're doing a lot of talking, you can't
you
fight.
can't fight.
Like, you can't fight. The person
You're
that's doing
doing
all
too much
that talking,
talking.
you cannot fight. Yeah, you're doing too much talking. So it makes me think about when you say you're in the fight of your life. And I know there's a lot of people out there who are listening who may feel like they're in the fight of their life and that their life is on the line. So how can you speak to those people this evening who are willing to do talking? Because we all know growing up in a faith-based organization that faith without works is dead. And I've even taken it a step farther and have said that potential without works is also dead. So if you keep talking about, oh, I want to create, I want to become, but you never do anything, you can't fight. You're not fighting. So what can you say to people who feel like they might be stuck in that thing? Like what resonates with you for that?
If you feel like you're stuck in what I want this, I want that, but you're not moving, I would I would encourage or suggest to you to do some inner work.
Mm,
I think we as a people, as a culture, a society, we are good at hiding. We put on
mm-hmm.
masks. We definitely don't have conversations like this, because if we do, then I'm letting you in. I'm being vulnerable, right?
Mm-hmm.
So before I get too far off, if you find yourself, wanting these things but not moving, then find out what's holding you back. And it's not the
Mm,
first question.
right.
It's usually
Right.
about the fourth or fifth.
Mm, mm,
Find it. Look, I think about pursuing something and achieving something that is something that you sowed, you grew that. If you got a goal and you actually attain that goal, you sowed a seed earlier on. Well, if your
mm,
if your ground, or you or your inner self, is not producing a harvest, then and if you're sowing, you got to have seed to sow. And I hope you guys follow me, because Jonathan always say I talk like a Bible parable. But if you
yeah.
don't,
She talks in parables, y'all. But I get it because I talk in parables too. People be like, what? Yeah, I get it.
but if your inner self is not producing what it is that you're saying that you're wanting, it's the seed that you're sowing, which could be nothing. If you're not
Mm,
going to take action, then there's no seed to sow. But if you're doing
mm-hmm.
something and it's still not working, there is something that is in the ground, which means you. There is something
There you
that's
go.
inner that is killing the seed. Find
Mm-hmm.
it and get it to the root. Is it
Mm,
trauma? Is it fear? Is it hurt? Is it jealousy? Be real. Is it
be
jealousy?
real. Right. Right.
Because you can't bring forth anything until you go and get that thing that's killing your seed.
Mm, see what I'm talking about, y'all? Do y'all see what I'm talking about? She does it every time. Now I'm sweating again. I got to use my little prepper. Jesus. So what you said, Keisha, about Lakisha, sorry. What you said about, having you have to have seeds to sow. Is that the equivalent, or how does that coincide with the phrase of I can't pour from an empty cup, or I can't pour from a cup that has holes in it? Is that metaphorically around the same, or how does that differ if that's not?
I think that's a little different. I think
Okay.
seed, I think seed to sow is you effort, right? So your seed could be time. You might
Mm-hmm.
want to have a business, right? But first of all, what is the business? And are you really capable of doing it?
Mm-hmm.
Seed.
Mm-hmm.
How much money does the business actually make? Where is this business most successful at? What is it going to take to start it? All of that is seed. So if you're
Yeah.
not researching it, but you just dreaming it up,
Mm-hmm.
that's not, you don't have any seed.
Mm.
um the pouring out of an empty cup speaks from, I believe, speaks from, again, your inner self, right? If you It takes energy to go for a goal. It takes energy to build yourself, right? It
Mm-hmm.
takes energy to grow up, mature.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
And God knows if you have responsibility. If you're trying to mature and self-develop and grow up and mature in your mind, and then you got a child, and then you have a significant other, you being pulled on, you're pouring out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So if you don't find that to replenish you, you eventually you're gonna be, if you keep pouring, there's not gonna be anything to pour out.
That's very true. That's
Or if
very
you
true.
or like you said about the holes in the cup, and the holes in the cup, that's also, to me, I believe that that's also, within you, those things that you're not saying. You know,
Yes.
I, I told somebody, and I won't hold you long, Jonathan. So I told
No, it's
somebody,
fine. As long as I'm on prep by 8 o'clock, I'm good.
I'm getting ready to go. I'm getting ready to go. But I told somebody this because it reminded me about the holes in the cup. And I told someone, you need to do the inner work. And I said, if people who hide from themselves are very good in telling you what you need to do, right? But
Yes.
I told someone, if you really want to see a scary movie, or you really want to hear a scary story, go down in the depths of you and find out what's your issue.
Isn't that a horror movie? That's a
Listen,
horror film.
you better find it. You better find it.
Oh, Keisha, that is so paramount. And that's why a lot of people don't want to do the work, because they don't want to revisit that grief. They don't want to touch that sorrow. They don't want to touch what happened to them before, because it's just too painful to deal with. But it's just like anything else. You go through that pain in order to get to the beauty. And it's the beauty of what remains that's so important that we can definitely hold on to. That is that is wow. Wow. I can't wait till some of the people watch this replay so they can like really see you. And listen, we got about 5 more minutes, but I wanted to definitely get into the business side of you before we did it. So you started LG Styles, and then now you're doing Cold Culture. Like, what's left to fulfill for you?
So core culture is my baby, right?
Hmm.
It's what I have been dreaming of all these years, and it's a heavy baby that needs to be delivered.
Oh yeah, yeah. It
So
is a heavy baby.
it's a heavy baby. So core culture is my salon and hair care line. And I'm super protective over it. I'm super excited about it to finally be bringing it forth. Um, And so right now I'm in the middle of, or actually at the ending of opening the salon. We're in the final stages, final inspections and everything like that. So we can get into that building and open a brand new storefront hair salon.
Awesome.
And to introduce also the hair care line that I have. That's with Coil Culture. All my clients know about it because that's all I use, and they love it. I think they drinking it, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
But
yeah, they are
uh,
taking it off those shelves like crazy. I've seen it.
yeah, yeah.
I've seen it.
So yeah, that's my baby. Coil Culture is my baby, and soon to be the number one hair salon in Raleigh.
Come on. Yes, that's right. Number one hair salon. I love it. I love it. So, so what's left to fulfill for you? Like, is there a book? Is there a podcast? Is that what are you doing? What's next for Lakisha Gilbert?
So the very next thing is I do want to do a and not just want to do. I am actively gearing up to start a podcast. And the name of the podcast will be Main Matters. Um,
Main matters. Where'd you get that from?
Matters. So this will be a conversation that we'll have a podcast around hair in the beauty industry, but a little bit different. If you
Mm,
can't gather on my personality right now, I like to keep it really real. You know what I'm saying? And I
hmm
think there's some real conversations that need to be had in the beauty industry. The messages or conversations that be had between clients and stylists and what's going on in the beauty industry. One
hmm
of the first things I'll talk about, and just a little sneak peek, like I want to be able to say to the clients, like, your hairstylist is going to retire. And so all of you that have had your hairstylist for 15 to 20 years, baby, she trying to slow
Uh-huh.
that train down.
Uh-huh.
And so
Exactly.
that's a real conversation to have, and I'm super excited about it. So you guys stay tuned to that.
Oh, that's awesome. That is so good. Listen, well, Lakeisha, this has been so paramount. I feel like there's never enough time for us to get through everything that we have to get through, but I know you have truly inspired somebody else tonight with your story and with your passion and even with your straightforwardness. That's what I love about you the most. I mean, I love everything about you, but I love that the most because it's kept me grounded, kept me rooted, and it's kept me on this podcast. Like, you need to, you know what I'm saying? So I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you for being an inspiration to the world. How can people find you if they want to get some of your products for Coil Culture or book you? Although they probably can't book you right now because you're just booked and busy, but how can they find you?
So they can find me. I have a website. It is coilculturehaircare.com. There you can order products and you can even book online there. I am on Instagram as Coil Culture, and that is Coil underscore culture underscore. And I'm
Okay.
also on Facebook as The Coil Culture.
Okay. All right. Coil Culture. All things Coil Culture. So I want you guys to go and patronize this great woman who has a story, who has an incredible life and an incredible brand. I've also been a recipient of some of Coil Culture stuff, and it just helps. It works and it feels good. It smells good. So you guys go patronize her today. Find her, look her up. And Keisha, thank you so much again for being here with me on this podcast and just for sharing your story. I really appreciate you. You know I love you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I love you too.
Absolutely, absolutely. Go backstage for a second and hang tight, and I'm coming back to talk to you. I'm gonna close up with my friends.
Okay.
All right, thank you again. All right, guys, listen, this is the Gifted Conversation Podcast 2.0, and I'm your host, Jonathan Hodges. Thank you so much for being with us today to just kind of get into the world, into the mind, into the incredible life of Miss Lakisha Gilbert of Coil Culture. You guys can go to coilculturehaircare.com, or you can find her on all things Coil Culture on other social media platforms. But definitely, let's support our own. Let's support people that we know and not just people that will never have a conversation with us. So I'm so grateful for this conversation tonight. Listen, until the next time, stay at peace and not in pieces. I love you guys. Take care. LJL is an organization working to provide quality advisory services for their clients. They work with startup and growing companies from a variety of industries, ranging from technology to healthcare, providing innovative and effective solutions. Contact them today. Let's Assemble It specializes in fast and responsive furniture assembly. Do you need professional workmanship, reasonable prices, and satisfaction guarantee? Avoid the headache and schedule a local experienced specialist today. If you purchase it, let's assemble it. Everybody's telling me to find a career, and I be rolling my eyes, thinking I'll be alright with my